Hi everybody. So as you know, I have my twin boys. They are here and healthy. They just turned 3 months, so I decided it was time to go ahead and film a video of their birth story. And so before I get started, I just want to clear some things up. This is in no way advice if you are pregnant or if you would like to get pregnant. This is just my personal experience. This is not in any reason intended to say that midwives or a birth at a birth center at home and not at a hospital is the way that I'm telling you to do it. This is solely a decision that you and your partner have to speak about, and if you're both on the same page, then you know that's all that really matters, and that's exactly what me and my husband's experience was. I had it in my heart before I even got pregnant to have a natural birth, and at that point I didn't know if I wanted it in the hospital, at my house, or at a birth center. I just knew that I wanted it to be different from my first labor. And so I did pray about it, and we were actually trying for quite some time, and so I had a lot of time to think. And so when we got the news that we were pregnant, I kind of knew that I wanted to have a natural birth at a birth center. So I started looking up birth centers, and I found one in my area, and we went to go tour, and we met the midwives there. And so that's the route that me and Chris decided to go on. And so much more, I think that's why it was so special to me, because it meant more than just having an unmedicated birth. To me, it was a invitation to seek the Lord more and to strengthen my relationship with Him, and to truly trust in Him that, you know, I can do great things through Him. And, you know, He definitely proved that. So getting into my story, it's Easter Sunday, April 12th, 2020, and by this point I am 38 weeks. I am full term, and that whole week we had actually been on walks. I had been doing some light exercises, and you know, other things that I'm sure you know induce labor. And so by that point we were ready to go ahead and start labor. And I remember me and Chris sitting down and having him pray over us, and I just really felt that the Lord was going to respond to our prayer, and that I was going to have those babies that day or the next day. And so it's late at night, and me and Natalia are laying down, and I'm like kind of dozing off, and then I feel this really huge, I'm sorry if I'm not looking at the camera, I'm not used to doing these vlogs, but I felt this really strong kick, and I felt kicks throughout my whole pregnancy, hard kicks. So this one was nothing like all the other kicks that I felt before. So I kind of felt like something was happening, and I kind of felt like my baby was talking to me, like he was letting me know, like, I'm ready. And so I didn't say anything. I was just like, okay, like, is anything gonna happen? So I didn't call Chris because it was just a kick. But surely a few minutes afterwards, my water broke, and I am so glad that I'm able to say that I know what that experience feels like. It's just an incredible sensation knowing that your water is breaking, and that means that you're closer to meeting your babies. Like, it's here, you know. And so we knew that it wasn't going to happen within the hour. We knew that we had time from when my water broke, and so we were not frantic, saying that word wrong, I'm not sure at all. But we texted my midwife, and you know, she let us know to go ahead and meet her at, I think it was midnight or 1 in the morning, and by this point it was 10 p.m. And so for 2 hours we were at home, and I was riding through the contractions, and they were painful. They were really, really painful. But I remember thinking in my head, like, there is no way that this is the kind of contractions that sends women into like a full-on, like, not panic, but a full-on labor. Like, because I've seen, you know, videos of women in labor and them getting through those contractions, and they were painful. Those contractions that I was feeling were very painful, but I knew that there was no way that they were as painful as they were going to get. And so I was mentally preparing myself, telling myself, this is nowhere near the pain that you're going to get to, so you need to be strong and you need to not let yourself get psyched out. And so I tried to sit in the bathtub, but that position didn't work for me, because I felt the position that worked for me was when I was standing leaning forward and just rocking my hips back and forth. No, from side to side, not back and forth. And so I couldn't do that in our small bathtub. And so Chris turned on the water, and I tried being in there, but it just didn't work out. And so he's like, no, you need to get out right away, because you're screaming and this is obviously not helping you. It's not easing any pain. And so by that point, Natalia knew what was going on. It was really special for her to be there. To me, it was really special. I know that she probably won't remember, but I'm so glad that she was there, and I did record her, so I'll always have those memories. But my sister came to pick her up, and so she could spend the night at her house. And then close to midnight or 12:30, we decided to head over to the birth center, which is about 10 to 13 minutes away. It wasn't far at all. And it was hard to get out the door because the contractions were painful, and then I had to go to the restroom, if you know what I mean. And then so finally we made it in the car, and I cannot even sit down. Like, I had to be hugging the seat, and my butt was like up in the air, and I said, I don't care if this is the way that I have to, you know, be in, but like, this is the way I'm gonna be when you're driving over. There's no way I'm gonna be sitting down. And so that probably wasn't the best decision, but we made it. And so we made it to the birth center, and by that point, Chris he already knew that I was just, I was gone, in the sense of like, I wasn't Deb anymore. Like, I was this person that was going to be having to deal with contractions, and so I probably was going to be saying some things that I wouldn't usually say, or I probably was going to be acting in a way that I don't usually act. But we knew that would happen. And so we get to the birth center, and of course COVID-19 is going on, so they have to check our temperature and all of that before actually going into the suite. And so I'm frustrated, I'm annoyed. I know that it was protocol, but I was a woman in labor, and I just wanted to get in there, you know. And so that was, you know, that was difficult to me. And also my family couldn't be there because of everything going on. It was only my husband and my sister, and so we just had to make the best situation out of it. And so the contractions went from 0 to 100 really quick when I was in the birth center. Like, I felt like I was dying, and I kept leaking. Like, nobody ever tells you that you're gonna keep leaking. So I didn't see that there was any point wearing underwear, because I was just getting them wet. And like, I kept taking them off, and I remember they kept telling me you need to have underwear on, and I was just like, but I'm leaking. Like, I'm leaking all over, and I didn't want to be in one spot. I wanted to kind of be moving around. And so I was leaking all over the floor, and I could, it was just stressful situations for little things, but they were making me stressful until I finally decided to just block everybody and everything out and focus on me. So And that's what I needed to do to get through them. So I focused on my breathing. My husband and my midwives were asking me questions, and I wasn't answering. Honestly, I just didn't have any energy to answer. I was drenched in sweat, completely drenched. Those contractions were hitting, and I was in the restroom, I was on the bed, my thoughts were like, what is happening, what is going on, why did I choose this route? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I was questioning myself, asking myself, why did you choose this? Like, what did you think? You thought that you were gonna be Superwoman and you were gonna be able to do this? Like, why? And there was a lot of negative thoughts going in my mind, and then when I told my husband, like, I told him, I'm in a lot of pain, I don't think I can do this. And he was so encouraging to me. He really was amazing. He was my rock, and so I'm so blessed to have him, and I'm so blessed that he was there, because he basically told me, no, you're gonna write this out. Like, me and you have talked about this before, and you told me if you were in this position that I was going to be the one speaking with clarity. And of course, me feeling all these contractions, I wasn't reasoning. The only thing that I was thinking about was the pain, and Chris was thinking more logically, like, the babies are not breached, they're in a great position right now, there's no health risks with you, like, we are not going anywhere, like, this is happening. And so I was frustrated, I was sad, I was just feeling everything that you can feel. And then I remember I was laying down on the bed, and I felt this contraction that I felt like I'm not even kidding you. Like, I felt my spirit leave my body. Like, not really, but like, I felt like that contraction took everything out of me. Like, every ounce of strength that I had left, I felt that contraction rip it away. Because it's like if somebody is torturing you. That's what contractions feel like, at least to me. You know, I've seen some vlogs where they talk about it like it's such a happy feeling, but it wasn't feeling happy to me. And then when that contraction hit, I just felt like I thought I was nowhere near where I needed to be. And so I told my husband, if there's gonna be more contractions like that, like, I cannot do it. Like that, it hurt. Like, it was very painful. And I told him, I can't do this anymore. Like, I want to go to a hospital. So they asked me, you know, like, so you want to leave? And they said, so we have to check you, because there's no way that you're going to leave if you are close to giving birth, because we can't have you giving birth in the car. And so I said, okay, you know, I was just so out of it at that point. And then they checked me, and my midwife was like, Deborah, you're not going anywhere. You're about to push the baby. You're already 10 centimeters dilated. And I was just like, you're lying. And I remember I kept repeating that, you're lying, because I couldn't believe that it was time to push. I couldn't believe that the contractions were finally gonna go away, and that I was gonna be able to push for my babies. And so I don't know if you can hear my baby crying in the background, so I have to pause it really quick. Okay, and so it was time to push, and by that time 30 to 40 minutes had already passed by. And so I think I wasn't feeling any more pain. I was getting contractions, but I wasn't feeling any more pain. And I just think it's so incredible what your mind and what you're capable to do. Like, at that point, it was like fight or flight, right? And I had a choice. Either I was going to get nervous and anxious and start doubting myself again, or I was gonna say, Deb, you have a job to do, it's time to push these babies, and you're gonna do it because you need to do this. Like, your babies need to come out of you healthy. And that's basically what I focused on. And so I started pushing my first baby, and there is Kai. I'll just bring him over. Okay, so here's Kai. And so I just pushed, you know, and I truly felt Kai. Kai, you were the first one. I felt him coming out of me. It was just an experience like there's nothing else in the world like it. I felt a huge gush of water coming out of me, and then I felt myself pushing, and I felt myself pushing him out. And so, as amazing as it was, they put him on my chest, and I didn't allow myself to feel emotion, because if you know me, you know I'm a very emotional person. And I knew that if I were to start crying, you know, out of happiness, right, and out of relief, and just, you know, just kissing him and crying, I would get too emotional, and I don't know how I would have been able to push out the next baby. So at that point, I just kept asking, is he healthy? Is he healthy? Is he okay? Is he okay? And once they told me yes, and then my mind was like, okay, like, when is it time to push the other baby out? Like, that was my main concern at that moment. Like, I just wanted to get my other baby out, and I wanted to have both of them out and healthy. And so 15 minutes later, they tell me I'm gonna start pushing, or 10 or 15 minutes, I'm not sure. And so I start pushing for my next baby, and Leo comes out like the other one, you know, like, I felt gush of water again. And then by that point, I'm just so over the moon. Like, I am so happy. I am so proud. I am full of love for myself and for my husband, who was so incredible, like, throughout the whole thing. Like, I fell in love with him so much deeper through that experience. But then my midwives tell me, you're not done, you have to push out your placenta, and it's a really big one. So basically, it's like I had to push out another baby again. Like, it's like I'm birthing a placenta. And so at that point, I was just like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I just want to be with my babies. Like, I just want to hold them. I just want to, you know, be in the moment. And so I push out the placenta, and finally, you know, I look over, and Chris is with the babies, and I have one. And as painful as it was, I wouldn't change that for the world. I think that I definitely grew as a person. I grew to love myself more, and I grew to not doubt myself, because I doubt myself a lot when it comes to what I can physically do. And so I am so glad that I decided to go on this journey and, you know, test how physically strong I am, because I want to show Natalia, and I want to show these babies, you know, that they're capable of anything that they set their mind to. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but we are, you know. And so they were born at around 3:30 and 3:50 a.m. and then we were home at 10 a.m. And so it's definitely different than a hospital experience. And so everybody was like so surprised we were home that same day within hours, and you know, but I was able to walk. I wasn't numb because I didn't get an epidural. I didn't have any medication. The medication that they gave me was I don't know if it was Advil or Tylenol. But that's the medication that I was on to help with the pain afterwards. I did have pain down there, but I was able to walk. I was able to do things that I couldn't do in my first delivery. and I recovered so much faster. I didn't tear. It didn't look crazy down there. I'm sorry if it's TMI, but at my first birth it was like, what in the heck is going on? And so our bodies are so amazing. Our bodies are so amazing, and I'm so grateful that I went through that experience and that I love my body and what it was able to do, how it was able to be a home for these twin boys, and how I was able to birth them. And it's just surreal. And Chris, all the time, he's like, man, you're never gonna let me live it down. Like, anytime I feel pain, you always tell me, like, what, did you birth twins? And I do. I milk it, you know, and I'm gonna keep milking it maybe for the whole first year. But here's Kai, and Leo is crying, so I have to go get him. They didn't really nap. And so I hope that, you know, you're still watching if you wanted to watch this. I invite you, I encourage you to seek out all your options and to do what's best for you and your family. The Lord really blessed me. I've always wanted twins, and so when we found out we were having twins, we didn't decide to change our plan as far as going to a hospital, because I just felt, well, God knew that they were twins. I might not have known because I found out at 20 weeks, and that's halfway through the pregnancy. So God knew that I had twins, that He had blessed me with twins, and He knew what was in my heart about doing this in a birth center. And so, no, I'm not going to change my plan, because He knew it all along, and He aligned everything perfectly for me. And so I'm going to continue to trust Him with this. And so that's our story. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, I will be glad to answer you. But I'm just so thankful that I had my babies healthy during this whole pandemic, and how we've been home. I mean, I don't like to take my babies out at all, and I don't think I even would, even if there wasn't a pandemic, because they're so small, and I don't think little babies should be in car seats really often when they're so small. But they've been here at home. We've taken them out a few times, but I just, that's just our story. And so, thank you for watching. I hope you watched everything. And God bless you and keep you safe. And maybe I would do a video, because I did record my actual birth. So I'll record a video with like little snippets of that. Obviously not the whole thing, but you know, of little snippets here and there. Bye-bye. Kai, say bye-bye. Adios. Adios. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.